welcome to this run through of Classroom Screen. So Classroom Screen is a website I've recently come across, and I feel like it's just one of those really helpful, super simple, simple to go to type of things that can really kind of help with management in your classroom. So heading over to Classroom Screen, essentially what this is a display that you can project on your TVs or projector, whatever it is that you have, to just kind of give a little bit more guidance and direction through your classroom. So it's just a website, classroomscreen.com. When you get here, it will default to some beautiful looking background. Excuse me. But the main thing is you have all these different widgets down here along the bottom. So the first thing is there is a widget for language. If you are in a classroom where you want to display all this in a different language, have at it. There's a ton of different options there. The second thing is background. So it comes with, it just defaults to a random background that's there. There's a whole bunch of images that you can use that are preloaded. You could also just do a color. You can upload your own. You have a whole bunch of different GIF options over here, although I will say these load kind of slowly. And then you can actually also connect to a live webcam, which I'm not really sure how you would use that. I'm sure there's some creative thing you can do with that, but that is an option. So I'm just going to pick one. I like these balloons. It takes a second to load, but then it's there. If you wanted to maybe put like your school logo, or maybe a picture of your class, or maybe you highlight a specific person, you can do that, but you can put your different background up there. The next option is the random name drawer. So this is a nice tool, and I know a lot of people already use random names just to sort of select a person at random, which this is nice because this just sort of displays on the side of your screen so you could have other things going on. So you can go through, you type all the names of your students here, copy and paste them from maybe Skyward, and then it's just going to choose a person. So if I typed in a couple people, okay, and then I click choose, it's going to select one of them at random. Now, if you type in your list here and you don't want to have to type it in every single time, or if you're the kind of person who maybe you are a middle school, high school teacher and you have different classes of kids, different groups of kids every hour, you can save this. So if I click save, it will save as a text file, and then I can just load it in the next time I run it. This also has a dice tool. So if you need to just get a random number, you can roll. I just have a sound effect to get dice. You can do 1, 2, or 3 dice to roll. So if you need random numbers for something and it just is easier to do it that way, you've got that. You can actually have 2 of these up here at a time also. So if I needed random names and a number, I could have both of these things, but they're both there. And then just to get rid of them, I'm going to click on that X down by the widget. The next thing here is a sound level. Now, the sound level is kind of interesting, and basically what it's doing, it's really loud. I'm going to turn the sensitivity down, is that it is monitoring the sound that is being picked up by a microphone. So obviously this is only going to work if you have a microphone in your classroom, but basically you can tell the students what an appropriate noise level is based on how the microphone reads your sound. And then you can have it, ding if they exceed that sound level. You can kind of change the settings here. But like I said, this only works if you have a microphone in your room. So if you don't, this is kind of a useless thing. But it does give you some of the, like an option, if you've got that microphone to monitor sound, maybe you can there can be a reward if they stay under this certain sound level the whole time, or, different things like that. But it allows you to have that option. I'm just going to leave this here so I can kind of show you how basically all these things you can have open at the same time and just sort of arrange them on your screen depending on what you need. The next thing is a QR code. So if I click on that, it opens up this little QR code over here, and it's just set to be the QR code for Classroom Screen. But basically, you would paste the link for your QR code for it to show here. QR codes are always associated with the link, so you just need to, if you have a QR code for a website you want the students to go to, or for maybe like a video that they need to watch, you can project that here. Or some of you, like if you grade school teachers using Seesaw, that's one way to join your class. So you can project the QR code here onto your screen for that, just as a convenience factor. You can also have 2 QR codes. If you want to add another one, you can have that. So you can have two of those at a time. The next option is the drawing tool. Now the drawing tool is going to change my entire screen so that I have a whiteboard essentially. You can change the background of this, which is kind of nice if I needed, maybe if you're a math teacher and you need something for math up there like this, you can put that in and then draw on it. Obviously, this is a little difficult if you don't have a touch device, but you can still, use it for simple drawing. But you can pick different colors. You can change the sizes. You can erase what you drew. You can change it. I actually tend to prefer that black background. It makes it look a little bit more like a chalkboard, but it gives you an option for drawing stuff on the board. If you do have a smartboard or Promethean, if you put this up, you can just use the markers that you have with your screen to draw. But like I said, if you're just using a monitor and you don't have a touch device of some kind, this is a little bit difficult to use. You can also do a breakout draw board. So if you click on this drawing, it basically is its own little board. So if you had something else that was going on in your background, or if you were using that main drawing board and you wanted, this is something to go with it, that could be something that you use. Or if you just want this as a small drawing, you can have that as a small drawing here just to the side somewhere. The next thing is text. So actually, let me get rid of this. This takes up a lot of space. So you can add just a basic text box. Maybe you just need to put in some directions for what students should be doing. There are some formatting tools, but it allows you just to kind of throw in some simple text. So maybe you want to put up what students should be doing when they're finished with something they're working on, or simple steps to something for them to do next. But this allows you to just throw some text up on the screen very simply. Maybe you're running a different schedule for the day and you want to throw that up on the screen. The other thing here is these work symbols, which these are, kind of nice, especially for classroom management, maybe volume situations. So maybe if you want the kids just to remember that they're supposed to be silent, you can put up that silent one. There's also whisper, there's ask a neighbor, or there's work together. So those, kind of depending on what you need, those kind of offer some different options. You also have the traffic light, which this is something you could probably use for quite a few different things. Maybe if you're working with groups and you say, all right, you're supposed to be switching to your next group right now. All right, you've got 10 seconds to get there and you should be stopped in wherever you're at. So this allows you to kind of give different direction. You probably want to go through with the students, obviously, what the different lights mean, but there's a lot of different applications for using that stoplight. You can also, with this one, with quite a few of these, you can add a second one. So maybe you need one over here for something and one over here for something else. So you can kind of divide it up that way. I'm starting to get a little bit busy, so I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. Another option here is you can have a timer, which this is actually something I find super helpful. So it's just a simple timer. You type in how much time, maybe you want 2 minutes, and then it can go through and you can also pick what sort of sound effect you want the timer to have when it's finished. You can also allow this to, or make this automatically loop. So if maybe if you're doing groups in your class and you're going to spend 5 minutes at each group and you want that timer to restart every 5 minutes. So this will allow you to set how many rotations you need, and then and it'll just keep repeating that time, so you don't have to keep coming over here and clicking reset and restart. This does also have a stopwatch. Maybe you need to time something that's like how long it takes to read something or how long it takes to do something. You can run that stopwatch from here too. And then you can actually also have both if you need both, because you can click on that little plus one to add a second one. The last thing here is you have this clock. So you can display a clock in your room, especially if you have a classroom where maybe your classroom clock isn't super accurate, and your students are maybe packing up when they shouldn't be, or getting ready to do something when they shouldn't be. This gives an accurate time. So this gives you that option to display that clock. You do also have the option to change this over to a calendar, which can also be super helpful depending on your class needs. The last couple things you have over here are a couple extra controls. So this first control that you have is a exit poll. Now, this is a nice little feature, and it actually, you'll notice it kind of opened up in its own tab. This is a way that you can maybe gauge how students understood your lesson. So you would put up a question, you would just have them quickly walk in front of your screen. This obviously is like on your device, so they would have to walk in front of your screen and select one. It just gives you a general idea of how students felt. There's a few different options in terms of their response, but it allows you to have that exit poll. The other thing over here, you can click to hide the controls if you need that space. And then lastly, there is a button here to make this into a full screen mode so that you don't have all that extra stuff going on. But that is Classroom Screen. I hope this is a helpful tool for you. This is really nice just for management. It's nice for maybe just when students come in the morning. It's a quick, easy thing to throw up there. These extra tools are really helpful. So hopefully it works for you and you find some good uses for it in your classroom. Thanks for watching.